Are you a new player who just doesn't have a whole lot of time to grind GTA Online? Do you only log in during the weekends after a hard day of work, hoping to make enough GTA money so you can finally afford that sweet new ride that you've been eyeing for the last month? Well, you could just buy a shark card and give in to Rockstar's greed to make things a bit easier for yourself. Or you could follow the routine I'm about to show you in this video and go from earning $0 as a new player to $10 million in a single day. And I know what you're thinking here. There's no way I can make $10 million in a day as a new player. This has to be clickbait. But I promise you, I'm not exaggerating here. In fact, I can tell you right now from personal experience that depending on which businesses you own and how efficiently you run your heists, you can easily make $4 million in a single 3-hour gameplay session. And if we scale that up to 8 or 10 hours, a real grind, that's $10 million in just one day. Do this twice a week over the weekends and you'll be making over $80 million a month, or $160 million in 2 months, which is more than enough to buy every mansion, weaponized vehicle, supercar, service vehicle, and vanity item in the game before GTA 6 releases. And just for comparison's sake, $80 million is what you get from 8 Megalodon shark cards, which are worth $800 in total. So I'm basically saving you a whole PS5 Pro's worth of money every single month, and all you have to do is follow this guide and play a couple days a week to get absolutely loaded and buy everything you want in GTA Online. Alright, before we kick things off and get on that hardcore money grind, I want to clear a few things out. In order to make $10 million a day from scratch, we're going to have to invest a few $1,000,000 first. This is because we need a set of starter businesses like the motorcycle club, the nightclub, the bunker, the CEO special cargo warehouse, the auto shop, the salvage yard, the garment factory, etc. before we jump straight into action. You don't need to own every single one of the businesses that I just listed, but make sure to grab at least these 3 first: a bunker, a motorcycle clubhouse, and a nightclub. You can get the bunker for free as a new player if you're on the enhanced version of the game simply by using the career builder, which Rockstar has graciously provided to everyone who owns a copy of that expanded and enhanced edition. Then once you have your bunker, you can either pick the free MC Clubhouse and Great Chaparral that the game gives you as a part of the Criminal Enterprises starter pack, or you can save up some cash to buy your own clubhouse later down the line. Also, once you get your MC Clubhouse, you only need to focus on buying these 3 biker businesses: cash, Coca-Cola, and math. That's it. Forget about the grass and the document forgery for now, as those won't be linked to your nightclub warehouse. Once you have your biker clubhouse, your bunker, and your nightclub, let me explain where you should go next, because we all know the casaca purchase is coming soon, but before that, we need to get some other things done so we can build up cash for our casaca. And since you're a new player, there are 3 types of active content that you can grind to get lots of money really fast. First, we've got the various treasures around the map. There are 3 of them in total: the double action revolver, the navy revolver, and the stone hatchet. And with each of these treasures, you'll have to roam the map and look up clues, which will then lead you to a final stage where you encounter some kind of boss, and once you kill him, you get your prized weapon. Then if you get a few eliminations with that weapon, you also earn some bonus money as a reward. And if we add up all the bonus cash that we get for completing all 3 weapon challenges, it actually amounts to over $800,000. Then I also recommend going to this R icon on the map. It's Trevor's old liquor store up in Sandy Shores. There you'll meet Ron, and he's going to introduce you to the Fooligans, who are basically a bunch of drugged up psychos looking to establish their very own acid business in Los Santos. You'll have to do 6 missions for them called First Dose, and then at the end of the quest line, you'll get a first time completion bonus of $250,000 plus your very own free Brigade 6x6 truck. And what's cool about this free truck is that if you spend $750,000, you can install an acid lab business in the back. This is easily the best passive grind for solo players in GTA Online right now, after the introduction of the Mansion Production Speed Boost, which reduces the turnover time for a full bar of stock from 6 hours down to just 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's with the equipment upgrade, by the way, and for that you'll need to spend another $250,000 to get that, but it's no big deal here because the 10 Fooligan jobs that you do for Dax as a requirement to unlock this equipment upgrade will pay $500,000 in total, which is more than enough to cover your equipment fees. Which means not only are you getting the acid lab and its associated equipment upgrade practically for free just by doing these missions, but you're also making a decent bit of change on top of all that, which you can then spend on upgrading your other passive businesses like the nightclub or the bunker, for example. Alright, now that we have our acid lab, our bunker, a nightclub, and a motorcycle clubhouse, how do we actually make money with all these businesses? So here's how it all comes together. First, you're going to resupply your fully upgraded acid lab and your bunker at the same time. You can resupply your acid lab by calling Mutt, and you can resupply your bunker by fast traveling to it and spending $75,000 from the console. The acid lab, with the production speed boost enabled, makes a batch of product in 3 hours. The bunker takes approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes to process a single resupply, and the awesome thing about doing a single resupply and then selling right away is that you only get one sale vehicle, which means even a new player will have absolutely no trouble at all selling their bunker in 10 minutes or less. That's $210,000 right there. Then after that, we do a quick ammunition delivery for another $50,000, and you're right around the 3-hour mark, which now means your asset is ready to sell. And this is exactly what I mean when I talk about layering your passive businesses together. When one is processing supplies, the other is ready to go. This is exactly what we need to maximize our money per hour in this game. We want to reduce the dead zone or the empty time as we transition from one business to another. So what we do to achieve this goal is we set up our passive businesses in such a way that they all produce right after one another, allowing us to go from one business to the next without wasting any time. And in the case of the bunker and the acid lab, they've got this natural synergy with each other, which is why I run them daily and I always resupply them at the same time, because I know that when one is finished producing stock, the other will be ready in just 20 more minutes. Next, it's time to get our nightclub income rolling, and for that we've actually got two things that we want to cover here. First is the passive income that you get from the wall safe. This is $50,000 every single in-game day, or 48 minutes real life, and all you have to do to get this money is keep that popularity meter maxed out at 5 bars, which is very easy if you just do a couple of bouncer missions or of course VIP escorts every now and then. In fact, your security guard will text you every 48 minutes when you visit the nightclub, and he'll tell you that you have a bouncer job or a VIP escort mission ready to go. Alternatively, if you want to save some time, you can increase popularity the easy way by spending $10,000 to hire a new DJ from your nightclub PC. For nightclub income part 2, we need to head into the basement, and here you've got a warehouse that is essentially a front for all your other businesses and any extra goods from those businesses that you can't sell, and that all accumulates here. And it's important to note that the nightclub warehouse does not take supplies or product from your MC or bunker or CEO cargo warehouse. It has its own logistics chain separate from your personal supplies and product, and it will automatically fill up over time by itself as long as you've assigned technicians to those businesses. And there are only 5 businesses that you need to assign technicians to. First is your bunker, which goes by the name Sporting Goods in the nightclub warehouse. Then either your CEO special cargo warehouse, or if you have a hangar, these are both called cargo and shipments in the nightclub, and you can assign a technician to either one of those. Also, your math lab, which is called pharmaceutical research. And then you have your counterfeit cash factory, which is called cash generation in the nightclub warehouse. Lastly, you need to link your Coca-Cola lockup, which goes by the pseudonym South American Imports. And that's it. Forget about grass, forget about the document forgery office. They're both useless in the context of the nightclub and not worth it for nightclub money. Then all you have to do is wait 20 hours for your cash, Coca-Cola, and the math to fill up in the nightclub, and then do a quick sell mission to earn over $1 million in profit. When you add this to the money from your nightclub's wall safe, it comes out to over $100,000 that you're making per hour in completely passive income, just barring that sale mission. As good as this is, I personally like to layer a few more passive businesses on top of the nightclub. Like for example, my salvage yard, and here's how I do it. As soon as I spawn into a GTA Online session, after resupplying my bunker and acid lab, I quickly jump into my salvage yard for a tow truck job. This gives me anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 per car that I tow, and my safe also accumulates $24,000 per in-game day in completely passive income, as long as I maintain a steady supply of vehicles through tow truck jobs. But I'm not really grinding those. You do them so seldomly, and you really only need to do one every single hour. Then I go outside, do a quick payphone hit or money laundering mission by calling either Franklin or Raf, and by the time that's done, my tow truck is off cooldown and I'm ready for that second tow truck job. The salvage yard can process 2 cars at the same time, so I always get 2 tow jobs done at the start of my session and end with 2 more tow jobs, as my salvage yard technicians will still process the vehicles even while I'm offline and logged off the game. Once you purchase all the passive businesses that I mentioned, you're well on your way to earning $10 million a day, because we've established a really solid foundation for our daily grind. But now we need to earn some more cash so we can buy ourselves a casaca and then eventually an agency. The casaca unlocks Cayo Perico, which is the quickest way to make $1 million with that heist in GTA Online. And then the agency unlocks the Dr. Dre contract, which is honestly even better for money making, as it has a similar $1 million payout, but the cooldown for solo players is much lower at just 48 minutes compared to Cayo's solo player 2-hour and 24-minute cooldown. So if you're trying to do multiple heists a day, the Dr. Dre VIP contract grind is way more profitable long term. But wait, how do we get all this stuff as a new player? I mean, the casaca costs 2.2 million and a Sparrow helicopter is a further 1.8 million on top of that. Then we need another $3 million plus for an agency with the personal quarters and armory. Well, guess what? You're in luck, because if you tried this challenge before 2024, you would have needed a lot more time to earn the $7 million for a casaca, plus a Sparrow, plus the agency. But in 2026, you have the Cluckin farm raid, which is free to play for anyone, no property purchase required. Then you have the recently added No Way Out heist, which is also free to play now, and you can do both of these heists with a basic Batty 801RR, which costs just $15,000. For a totally turbo casual player, I would say each of these heists take about 1 hour. So in 2 hours, you'll have already earned your first $1.1 million. Layer this on top of your passive income, and you've made close to $2 million in just under 3 hours. Repeat the cycle for a couple more days, and now all of a sudden, you're not broke anymore, because you've got over $7 million in the bank, which you can then use to buy a casaca, a Sparrow helicopter, as well as that agency. Then with your very first Cayo Perico heist, use that money to grab yourself this business right here. It's called the Mackenzie Field Hangar, and it unlocks the Oscar Guzman heist, which gives you a guaranteed $750,000 in hard mode for under an hour of gameplay. And here's one of my favorite daily heist rotations that I've successfully used to farm tens of millions of dollars. First, I start with a Cayo run, which takes me about 50 minutes or less. Then I do a quick Dr. Dre contract while the Cayo Perico heist is on cooldown. That takes a little over an hour. Then I throw an Oscar Guzman heist on top of that for another 750 grand, and by the time I'm done with that, my bunker and acid lab are ready to sell, so I make a further $510,000. That's $1 million from Cayo, $1 million from the Dr. Dre contract, $750,000 from Oscar Guzman, and $510,000 from my acid lab and the bunker. So about $3.3 million in less than 3.5 hours. Close to $1 million per hour, basically. And don't forget that my nightclub has also been accumulating cash in the safe, which gives me another $150,000 because I'm getting $50,000 per hour in passive money over at my nightclub. And this is just one of many grind routines that I use. Sometimes I'll start with a garment factory FIB priority file for $350,000, followed by a salvage art vehicle robbery for approximately $400K if it's that top tier high-end car. Then I'll boost my acid and sell it once, then hop into the auto shop for a quick ECU job or Union Depository contract. That's already $1.3 million right there in just over an hour, including the acid lab. And now I've got the freedom to choose between Cayo or Dr. Dre as my primary tier 1 heist for the day. Once I've done that, I'll go with a quick tier 2 heist, like a Cluckin farm raid or Oscar Guzman Flies Again questline to fill in the cooldown. And we're already at $3 million right there. Just like that. Scale this up to 8 or 10 hours a day, which is definitely possible on a weekend, and you can see just how easy it is here to make $10 million a day as a new player if you lay the groundwork and invest some money into a few businesses first, maybe even an Oppressor Mark II before starting this grind. And I gotta be honest, guys, that initial prep phase, it sounds daunting, but it won't take long either. Maybe 3 to 4 days maximum. Because now that we have all this nice free stuff like the Acid Lab, the Cluckin farm raid, the No Way Out heist, it's never been easier to make lots of money as a new player. You can just jump in and start grinding cash. And if you take anything away from this video, it should be the thought process behind creating your personal daily grind routine that you like that will help you earn millions of dollars. Because once you've figured out a plan that works for your gameplay style, that's when you'll start enjoying grinding GTA Online, and you can even create your own routine to make $10 million a day as well as a new player. But that's all I've got for this video, guys. Let me know how long it took you to get your first $10 million in the bank, and how much of a focus do you place on pure money grind versus fun? I personally like a balance of both, which is why I hold the philosophy of recommending that you unlock all the businesses, even the ones that are kind of mediocre, so you can just have more options to play with in the future. Plus, you never know which businesses will suddenly become a lot better thanks to that double or triple cash bonus for a weekly update from Rockstar. Anyways, we're going to be wrapping things up right here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check me out on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 online video. Adios, amigos.